What if you could make your AI respond 3, 4, even 5 times faster? Now, I'm not kidding. Today, we're going to break down the exact techniques you can use to turn a slow, frustrating AI into one that feels practically instant.
Okay, let's kick things off with a number that should really grab you, 53%. According to research, that's how many users will just give up and leave your site or app if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. Just 3 seconds. That is an incredibly tight window to make an impression.
So, you've got to ask yourself, especially if you're building with AI, is your model's lag literally pushing people away? Every single half second they have to wait could be costing you engagement, money, and maybe worst of all, their trust. The stakes here are super high.
And that brings us to our first big idea, the high cost of waiting. You see, speed isn't just some techie detail, it's a fundamental part of the user experience. A slow AI isn't just annoying, it can be a total deal breaker for your business.
Now, check this out, because this is how our brains actually perceive speed. Anything under 200 milliseconds, we feel like it's instant. Under a second, yeah, that feels fast. But the moment you go past that 3-second mark we just talked about, your app is officially in the slow zone. And 10 seconds? Forget about it. It's unacceptable. The window to feel fast is just razor thin.
So, to fix this, we first have to understand what's actually causing the delay. Let's pull back the curtain a little bit and see why these large language models need some time to think.
The biggest reason for this latency comes down to a process called token generation. Now, a token is basically a word, or even just a piece of a word. And here's the key. The AI doesn't dream up the whole answer at once. Nope, it builds it token by token, one after the other, in a sequence.
And this slide breaks it down perfectly. The model gets your prompt, it figures out the very first token, then it uses that token to predict the next one, and then the next, and on it goes. Seriously, think of it like typing a message one letter at a time. You can't write the 5th word until you've written the first 4. It's that step-by-step process that creates the delay we actually feel.
All right, enough about the problem. Let's get to the good stuff, the solutions. I'm about to show you 3 really powerful, high-impact techniques you can start using right away to seriously speed things up.
We're going to zero in on 3 key levers you can pull. First, controlling how much the AI is allowed to say. Second, picking the right tool for the job, because not all AI models are the same. And third, making sure your initial request, your prompt, is as lean and clean as possible.
First up, response length. The connection here is just so direct and simple. You can see it on the chart. A long 800-token response can easily take 12 seconds or more. But if you just tell it to be brief, say 150 tokens, you can slash that time down to just 2 seconds. The math is easy. A response that's 50% shorter is going to be about 50% faster.
Now, let's move on to our second technique, which is a huge one, model selection. You've got your premium models, like GPT-4, which are incredible for really deep, complex thinking, but they're slow. On the flip side, you have models built for speed, like GPT 3.5 Turbo. They can be 2 to 3 times faster. For any real-time app, choosing a speed model is probably the single biggest win you can get.
I absolutely love this analogy from our source material. It just nails the trade-off, right? You don't always need a 5-course gourmet meal from a premium model. Sometimes you just need a pretty good answer, and you need it now. That's where the speed models are perfect.
And our third technique is to simplify your prompt. It's not just about what comes out, what goes in matters too. A really long, rambling prompt takes the model more time to understand before it can even start writing. The data shows that cutting down your prompt length by about 1/3 can speed up that initial processing time by a solid 20%.
So, theory is great, but does all this stuff actually work when you put it together? You bet it does. Let's look at a quick case study that takes a response time from a painful 12 seconds all the way down to a beautiful 2 seconds.
So here's the before situation. We have this super long, open-ended prompt asking for a massive analysis on AI and healthcare. And the result? A 12-second wait time while the model cranks out over 800 tokens. For a user staring at a screen, that is an absolute eternity.
And now, look at the after. The prompt is so much more focused. It asks for just 3 key things, it sets a word limit, and it even asks for bullet points. By applying our techniques, constraining the length and simplifying the prompt, the response time just plummets to 2 seconds, with only about 150 tokens. What a difference!
Let that sink in. That's a 75% improvement in speed. It's the same core topic, but it's delivered in a way that actually respects the user's time, making the whole thing feel snappy and smart.
Okay, to bring this all home, let's boil everything we've talked about down into a simple, actionable checklist that you can use to optimize your own AI applications.
Here is your game plan. 1. Always set a max_tokens limit. It's the easiest and most powerful control you have. 2. Start with a fast model, something like GPT 3.5 Turbo. Only upgrade if you absolutely need higher quality. 3. Cut the fluff from your instructions. Be direct. 4. For any app that a person is looking at, turn on streaming. This is a game changer. It makes the words appear one by one, so the user starts reading right away instead of staring at a loading icon. And finally, number 5, try lowering the temperature setting. This makes the AI's answer less random and more predictable, which can also speed up generation a bit.
So, that's a wrap. We've seen that AI speed isn't a nice-to-have, it's a must-have. By understanding the why behind the slowness and using these key techniques, you can build experiences that feel incredibly intelligent and instant. So that just leaves one final question. Now that you know how to build a much faster AI, what are you going to create?